Here's what's going to happen tonight. The world's most famous sore loser will deliver a primetime presidential sour grapes address to pursue his 6-year-old grievances about the 2020 election, while his war in the Middle East spirals out of control and the cost of living continues to rise for Americans across the country.
All right, everybody, what the absolute hell was that? Donald Trump has been announcing all week that he was giving a huge speech to the nation on Thursday nights, and that was disastrous. Multiple news channels refused to carry that abomination of a speech, and I'm not even going to show you some of these parts where he's just ranting and raving about election fraud, but I do want to show you a president who is struggling to speak, lying about the Iran war, and barely even able to read the teleprompter during his speech. Before I even jump in, ABC, NBC, and multiple other networks refused to even air Donald Trump's emergency speech to the nation because he was revisiting old election conspiracy claims that have gotten news channels sued or taken off the air or discussing things like that. Ironically, Trump is now calling for the revocation of ABC and NBC licenses because they snubbed his speech. Here's the dictatorial president who is trying to lie about election fraud, lie about the Iran war, but whose voice is so hoarse that you can barely understand what he's saying. If you appreciate these videos, drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. I'm going to go see The Odyssey by Christopher Nolan tonight. All of these right-wingers are pissed off that this movie has diversity in it. We're going to go see it. We're going to go enjoy it, but let's watch this.
This week it was announced that inflation saw the largest monthly decline in more than 6 years. Just happened. It was just given out. The media reported it, and we accept it. The best in 6 years. The tax cuts in our great, big, beautiful bill are saving hardworking families thousands and thousands of dollars, like with the provisions, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors.
Bro, drink some water. We also have to point out Donald Trump put the largest tax hike on American families in American history with his tariffs that hit every single country, spiked unemployment, spiked inflation. Inflation is not down to the lowest point. It is struggling right now. Here's Trump lying about Iran.
Millions and millions of barrels of oil. We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
When are we going to see the fruits of that labor? It's like Trump is living in his own psychosis, his own alternate reality that he's trying to pull half of the country into. Do not believe these lies. We are not winning big in Iran. We are not winning big in the economic sector. Right now, we have zero concessions from the Iranian regime. Listen to Trump then complain about China before he builds up to his big lie.
Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly. And that's what we're doing. The documents cover 5 major areas of concern. First, they show that over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history.
This is all a complete lie. Let me show you some counter-programming by Senator Jon Ossoff, who Trump was going to invalidate with this speech.
Here's what's going to happen tonight. The world's most famous sore loser will deliver a primetime presidential sour grapes address to pursue his 6-year-old grievances about the 2020 election, while his war in the Middle East spirals out of control and the cost of living continues to rise for Americans across the country. I expect the president to reheat debunked conspiracy theories about the repeatedly litigated and audited and confirmed 2020 presidential election in Georgia, an election that Donald Trump lost. And let me be very clear about this. If the president declares Georgia's elections illegitimate, or if the president declares Georgia's sitting United States senators illegitimate, he is declaring Georgia voters illegitimate. It's Donald Trump who tried to defraud Georgia voters in that election. Donald Trump who tried to commit election fraud when he called Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and it was caught on tape, and you should play the tape for your viewers today, and badgered and bullied Georgia's top election official to, quote, find him the votes that he needed to win in a state where he had lost.
Very well said. I have not seen a politician or a Democrat stick up for election integrity like that in a while. I love to see it from Senator Jon Ossoff, who even referenced the famous Brad Raffensperger call. Donald Trump calls the Republican Secretary of State of Georgia and says, find me the votes. Find me 11,782 votes. It's one more than they needed to win. Trump tries to bully him into that, and the Republican holds his line. He says no. Now Trump is reheating those same conspiracies. Take a listen to this, and we'll go back to Senator Ossoff.
Hundreds of thousands of non-citizens and dead people are listed and active on the voter rolls, and yet we still have elections with no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, and tens of millions of ballots floating aimlessly through the mail.
Again, Senator Ossoff says it better than I can in response.
Now, Senator, you said this week that if the president calls you and your colleague, Senator Raphael Warnock, illegitimate, he's calling Georgia's voters illegitimate. Do you know if he plans to talk about you and Warnock?
I don't know. But if there's one person who committed election fraud in Georgia, it's Donald Trump when he dialed up our state's senior-most election official, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and tried to bully him in a recorded phone call to, quote, find the exact number of votes Donald Trump needed to win in a state that he had lost.
Thank you. Thank you for saying this. Back to Donald Trump accusing NBC and ABC of a serious plot of fraud.
There's no third world country that has elections like we have. In a rare move, NBC and ABC Fake News have both said that they would not cover this speech. They knew what it was about because of the fact that they don't like the topic, because they know how corrupt our system is and they don't want to reveal it. They and others in the media are part of a plot. They want to continue this fraud for whatever reason. They want to keep it going. They want to protect the radical left. They can't have a great country, and that's true. You can't have a great country without free and fair elections.
He is out of his damn mind lying about these elections. And this is why I'm very grateful to have people like Senator Ossoff. He could be a great presidential candidate. He's grilling all of Donald Trump's nominees for the Attorney General, for the Director of National Intelligence, directly about the elections in 2020. Tell me who seems confident and who doesn't in this video right here.
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
This is a job interview. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee. Yes, you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee?
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
Like I said, I'm not going to get into that with you.
But you do have an obligation to be honest and forthright with the committee.
Is anything that I just said not honest or forthright?
Yes, you're not being honest or forthright. Who won the 2020 election?
I think I've answered the question. We can keep doing this.
Well, we're going to keep doing it because you're not being honest and forthright.
I'm not going to engage in the theater.
It's a simple question, Mr. Clayton.
And I've answered
Who won the 2020 presidential election?
I've answered it.
You're here asking for the support of senators to lead America's intelligence community. We've established that you have an obligation to be honest and forthright with this committee and with the American public, but you refuse to answer a simple matter of fact about the 2020 election. Is that right?
No, that's not right.
Then answer the question. Who won the 2020 election?
I have answered the question.
Answer it. What is your answer?
I've given you my answer.
What is your answer? You refuse to answer a basic question about who won a presidential election?
No,
but you asked to lead America.
These people are absolutely spineless. I also want to point out that we're getting reports that the documents released by Trump during his speech tonight are backfiring on him. The documents released tonight actually confirm that Russia tried to spread claims Biden was engaged in criminal activity vis-a-vis Burisma, and that it advanced those narratives with U.S. officials and planned a high-profile corruption scandal at the peak of the 2020 election. So Biden actually had his own Russia. What do you know? Russia was running a psyop against the Democratic officials because Trump would be nicer to Russia. It reminds me of the former FBI source source accused of lying about the Bidens and having Russian contacts. He was arrested by U.S. officials because he was lying on behalf of Russia. Trump is such an idiot that his speech is backfiring. He then uses his speech as an excuse to introduce the SAVE Act and try to pass it.
Demands that Congress must pass the Save America Act.
Jesus, he does not sound good.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way.
I am all for election integrity, but as we've established throughout this entire video, the person trying to undermine our elections is Donald Trump. I'm going to leave it there. Drop a like, subscribe for more. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.